Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and you may remember the video from yesterday where I put out a very short video and I said, guys, there is possibly a developing story because they have actually left the word Doomfist in the PTR build of the game. Now, you guys have probably seen that video. You can see some clips of that video being played in the background right now. But basically, what happened is, when the game crashed on the PTR, it would give you a crash file. And that crash file, the log file, it would list the name of the version of the game as Summer Games / Doomfist. Now, why would it be there? It's like, what's that? Was that a mistake? Well, what you could actually do is get the exe of the game, so if you're playing on PC, and put it into what's known as a hex editor, so something like Notepad++ would do this, and you could search that file and you would find references to Doomfist. What the hell is going on? Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Now, this is probably completely nothing to you. Now, this is actually from the Reddit user It's Blitz, and he is showing us that actually, as of the update to the PTR last night, because there was a small update which went in, you can no longer see Doomfist as any kind of reference in the exe. So most likely that's been removed from the error logs as well. So what that says is this was a mistake by Blizzard. Whatever they're doing on the PTR, whatever that build of the game is, it is indeed leading up to Summer Games and Doomfist. Now, whether they're going to come out at the same time, I don't know. That's going to have to be down to speculation. I mean, to be honest, to bring them both out at the same time would be kind of silly, because Doomfist is a major launch. You would expect that to happen during some sort of major event. Like, you wouldn't launch a seasonal event and a hero at the same time. I mean, maybe you would. Maybe Blizzard have got loads of stuff to give us. Who really knows? Anyway, I spent last night digging around in the files to see what I could see. Now, being a complete idiot, I totally forgot to, well, take any screenshots of any of this stuff, because I just would assume that, yeah, this will be fine in the morning and I can start doing some recording. Problem is, as I just said, the PTR updated overnight. So what that means is, the system that we use called Overtool to actually check out what's going on the PTR and read some of the files, because Blizzard use a very special file system, so you have to basically convert them into files that we can read, no longer works because it needs to be updated to combat whatever changes have been made on Blizzard's end. However, Reddit comes to the rescue once again, because I was going through this and I noticed there actually is quite a lot of references to items underneath character designations, and you can't tell what the items are because they're encrypted. You just get a load of, like, a very long encryption key, and until we get that key, we'll never know what these files are. So even though we can data mine to some extent, we can check out what's going on inside the version of the game, what we can't do is see these files because they're hidden. They're encrypted using encryption, which you could never crack. You have to have the encryption key from Blizzard, and generally what they do is, if they, you know, like when you download a patch for the game, so on PC, it'll download a patch in advance. I don't know whether it does this on console. Maybe it does. You guys can let me know. But what will happen is it'll download that version of the game, and the game, all the files there are ready. So when the, I don't know, the Orisa patch came out, I mean, we already knew Orisa was going to go out, but when the Orisa patch had been downloaded, we couldn't actually access it until Blizzard released the sort of keys which allow our games to access the information, and then we can, you know, update the game that way. So that's kind of how it works, in a very, like, very simplistic way of explaining that, because I am by no means a master data miner. Anyway, Ethan Kaivayo, and I've butchered your name, so I'm just going to call you Ethan. Thank you very much for this post on Reddit, because what this actually does is condense all of the stuff that I was finding last night, which of course I never took screenshots of, and like I said, I can't actually go and show you now because, well, the PTR is updated. Now, this actually contains a ton of information, so what we're going to do is go through this, because there is loads of stuff that relates to the Summer Games. There's Event 8, which is most likely the Summer Games, I would imagine. New maps as well, which we already spoke about in a couple of other videos as well. So let's get stuck into this. So what we're looking at here is Orisa and Sombra have got 4 new cosmetic items. That's pretty interesting. Anna also gets 3 new items. Reaper, Mercy, Hanzo, Widowmaker, McCree, Junkrat, Zarya, Soldier, and Lucio. Good job on all this as well, Ethan. Get 2 new items. Tracer, Torb, Reinhardt, Pharah, Winston, Bastion, Symmetra, Zenyatta, Genji, Roadhog, Diva, and Mei get 2 new items as well. And there is also a new country player icon. So that's pretty good. Actually, there was a guy before who claimed to have data mined various country flags and stuff. I think that guy was proven to have been false. So, as I said, this is data mined information. So, you know, It's not like a leak. That's the thing you've got to understand, guys. A leak is sort of, it just could be a lie. Data mined information has a little bit of a foundation in reality because these are taken from the game files. Now, Blizzard are completely within their rights not to use any of this information. Like, these could be things that don't even relate to the new event or whatever, but all we're doing is looking at what's happened with the past events and then sort of extrapolating, what an awesome word, what's going to happen with future events, so you can kind of see trends. So I wouldn't say this is false. I would say that this is probably accurate, but we're never going to know what these items are until the game actually updates. Then we've got Event 8. Now, Event 8, and there's loads of items for Event 8, this is basically the next event. Remember, Event 7 was the anniversary event. Now, most likely, this is going to be Summer Games. They don't name the events because they know that people like us will be looking around. This is why to leave Summer Games and Doomfist in the error logs and all of that stuff and in the EXE was a bit weird. Like, the reason, I don't understand why they did that, but obviously they've changed it, so it was a bit of a problem and they should not have done it. So yeah, that's pretty good. Event 8, I mean, I can't really say much more than that. We're just going to get another event. We know that, right? The more interesting thing, though, is new maps. And apparently there's 2 listings for new maps here, but they could be anything. Now, the thing you've got to remember with maps is maps don't just mean maps that we play on. There's loads of different maps in Overwatch. You know, when you log into the game and, you know, if you go to your hero gallery and maybe you're on the King's Row hero gallery. In fact, is the hero gallery only? No, I'm losing my mind. But the hero gallery, right? If you're going through that there is a map, right? Where it shows your hero, the model of the hero in the background, or even the menu screen. That could be a map. So loads of things are maps within Overwatch. But to get 2 new ones, this could actually be those 2 potentially data mined maps, although they are from a dubious source, which is the New Zealand map and the other possible map, which I've totally forgot the name of. What was the other map? Oh yeah, the Symmetra map, the Utopia map. Oh, I forgot that. Sorry, Symmetra. So maybe we're going to get those maps with the Summer Games event. Possibly. I don't know. But possibly the most interesting thing is there is a load of files which indicate a new hero. And yeah, this could possibly indicate what their abilities are and all of that stuff. But we can't actually access these files, so we don't know. But what this does say is that there is definitely files in the PTR which pertain, another beautiful word, to a new hero. And they only generally do this before they bring out a new hero. So possibly what's going to happen here is we've got a timeline. Okay, so the timeline is probably going to go like this. Timeline A begins here, and it goes forward with Summer Games. Then after Summer Games, we're going to get a PTR version of the game, which will include Doomfist. And then Doomfist is the next launch for the next month. Possibly that's what's going to happen. I find it very hard to believe that they would release Summer Games and Doomfist at the same time. But why are there Doomfist files if this is Doomfist? This might be Hammond, we don't know. But why was the build of the game called Doomfist? This is it doesn't really add up, does it? So it must be Doomfist related in a way. Why would that even be in this version of the game? Is there something in the PTR which is advancing the Doomfist story? Now remember, it might not actually be Doomfist himself. They may have just called it Doomfist because it's the precursor. What is with my vocabulary today? It's beautiful. The precursor to the Doomfist story arc beginning, because, well, it already has begun, right, with the EFE stuff, but maybe we're going to get the Summer Games and something will happen in the Summer Games which then relates to Doomfist, and then the Doomfist train starts to get rolling, and then things start to happen, and that leads up to a launch possibly at Gamescom or possibly at BlizzCon. Now, I have always said I honestly believe Doomfist to be the BlizzCon launch. Doomfist is the major launch of this year for this game, hands down. He's like the Sombra, but he's Sombra only 10 times bigger. He's Doomfist. Everybody wants Doomfist. So I don't think, like, I want you guys to just sit down and just take this with a pinch of salt. I don't think we're going to be seeing Doomfist during the Summer Games. That is honestly probably never going to happen, because they're never going to throw 2 things out at the same time. But of course, you never know, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beauty with all of this stuff. I honestly think what's going to happen is we're going to get a story arc which is going to lead up to a massive crescendo. Again, my vocab is beautiful today. A massive crescendo where Doomfist launches, but we need more story and we need more lore. But the fact remains, Blizzard made a major mistake yesterday with the PTR. They left references to the Summer Games and Doomfist in, which they obviously don't want to do. If you think about Blizzard, they don't want to spoil the events before they happen. They want the events to come out and for it to be a surprise, especially if it's a new hero. The problem is, so many people play Overwatch. So many people like me out there are gagging for the information, and we'll go to any lengths to find out what's going on with the game. there are going to be ways where we're going to be able to find stuff. And if Blizzard are not clever, and if Blizzard don't cover up their tracks, which clearly they've done here, and this honestly is the only indication we needed that this build of the game on the PTR is something to do with Summer Games, and there is something in there to do with Doomfist, because they messed up and they went back and updated the game overnight, which is kind of, it's not unprecedented, but they've made very specific changes to remove references to Doomfist and the Summer Games. Guys, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost, and this has been an interesting video. It's been a bit of a different kind of speculation video, because there is speculation in this video, but it's almost like there's quite a lot of facts as well. Very interesting stuff. Guys, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Do join the Discord, which is discord.gg/Unit Lost. And by all means, go and discuss any kind of Doomfist related stuff or any kind of Summer Games related stuff in the Discord. The Discord is beautiful, and it's a great place if you want to make friends with people and form duos or triple groups or whatever you want to do, or even a 6-stack and go out and play competitive. It's awesome. Or even just in quick play. Alright guys, I've been Stylosa, and I'll catch you on the next one. The Doomfist hype train is starting to roll. Toodaloo.